Dude, anime, as much as I love it, is so weird. Especially the early 2000s to mid 2000s anime. As someone who kind of like grew up with a lot of those, animes from the early 2000s. Like I grew up with like for kids and Nicktoons with like Dragon Ball and stuff. Like basically like kind of the basics of like Sonic X or Yu-Gi-Oh. I grew up all those kind of basics, but then as soon, actually like probably like late elementary school, or early middle school, I started digging a little deeper, like in the Hulus and stuff, and then also like the deep circles of you know the anime freaking pirating websites. If you know, um, like Kiss Anime or something. But yeah, there was some pretty weird stuff, and today I'm kind of just going to highlight ones that really come to mind. And really a lot of these are from the dome, and you'll kind of notice a correlation between all these, that they tend to be really on the sexual side, but for whatever reason, at least to me, they had a pretty good story. The only like pretty bad stuff about them is that like they lean too heavily into the really sexual or sensual parts, which I mean still is done nowadays, but not as frequently. I feel like probably going off from the 80s and 90s, I think a lot of them in Japan realized like maybe we should tone this down. Maybe I'm wrong, but like it really does seem like a lot of stuff's toned down, especially like if you look at the ones that I'm about to highlight today. So starting off, um, I'm gonna highlight. Well, actually, let me rephrase it. I'm gonna go through 5 different animes. And then I'm gonna highlight another 5 that I don't really want to talk about in length. Because of this is all memory, and most of these I think I watched pretty frequently when I was younger, but mostly because of puberty reasons, I'll be honest, and then also just pure insanity of it all. Because I'm gonna be honest, some of these really did inspire me in terms of kind of just the vibe or just the ideas. Like if I pick apart the ideas outside of all the overtly sexualized again type of stuff, it's really good. But then you get like a big head turner like the first one I'm about to mention, High School of the Dead. So High School of the Dead is pretty much just your usual zombie apocalypse. Like if you've seen a zombie apocalypse movie, show, or whatever, you've probably seen all this has to offer. The only difference is they really go into like the anime absurdity of it all. Like for example, you'll have like this one girl, there's like a shooting sequence. Maybe I'll highlight it because I'm still gotta like record a lot of these stuff, but there's a shooting kind of fight action sequence, I'll say, between some bullets coming at this one girl, and this artist really just had a preference because every single one of those girls, and like I said with the title, it's called High School of the Dead, they're all high schoolers, they all have just obnoxiously big breasts. And this one girl, dude, it's so stupid, she dodges with her breasts each individual bullet, and it's so ridiculous. But you have moments like that. There's a lot of nudity in this one, but at the same time there's also a lot of absurdity with the characters. Like the main character, he's really just a jerk. Like uh this one this one girl at the start of the apocalypse in episode 1, from what I remember, um basically like he really wanted this girl, but she already had a boyfriend, and her boyfriend got bit by a zombie, and pretty much she's like, I'm not gonna kill this dude, blah 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 blah. And as soon as he turns to a zombie, and the guy is begging him to kill him before he turns to zombie, but he doesn't turn him. But as soon as he turns to zombie, he kills the zombie, and he kind of just expects her to like, and I could be remembering wrong, but kind of expects her to be, you know, his girlfriend, but she's like, nah, and then he just slaps her. And man, there's just so many dumb moments like that. Like in terms of the story, I feel like the story was pretty good. Basically just surviving. Like honestly, a really good comparison that like has none of these negatives to it, is like Zombie 100. It really gets absurd with a lot of the zombies, but at the same time, having a really fun vibe, with just people just trying to check off a bucket list of things they couldn't do before the apocalypse, and just still living. And I mean, the story could have got to a really interesting point, because I think it was for High School of the Dead, but unfortunately the author died, so yeah, rest in peace to that guy. But like, yeah, the author died, and yeah, that's its own thing. But I'm gonna move on. I don't want to talk about it too long, because then I have to remember more. But the next one is Camper. This one I really remember a lot because of the intro. The intro's so good. I would recommend looking it up. I'm not sure if I could highlight it on screen, and I think I might get copyrighted for that, so I don't want to go through that, but it's a really good opening. And I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty much all I really remember from it. I do remember watching it, and I think I at some point read some of the light novel, but like the premise of it is it's kind of magical girlish, but the opposite of it all is basically like these aliens come down to Earth, and the main character, he gets hit by one of the aliens, and basically like he turns into a girl, and that's kind of like the whole thing. He transforms from a normal guy to a girl to unlock these special powers, and basically it's kind of like a battle royale of everyone with the same powers trying to kind of gain someone else's, and there's a lot of slice of life between it all. The main guy has a crush on one of the main girls, who kind of like a nice, gentle type of girl, but then when she switches to her like I guess magical girl form, she becomes this really like edgy, kind of like evil girl. So like it's kind of like a I guess a really fluctuating dynamic between the two of them throughout it. But I believe like there's only like 2 seasons of that anime, so it's pretty short if you did want to watch it. But out of all the ones I'm going to mention today, I feel like that one's the one that's like somewhat the least sexual. It's definitely some weird moments, but like, the only weird ones is like you'll get like a few panty shots. I'm being honest. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So the next one is probably, to me, the worst one of all the 5, but also my favorite because I just love the story and the characters. Like it's really hard. This is the anime I'd love to recommend to like, especially like newer fans. Like my sister's like a newer anime fan, but I just can't because of everything else that happens in it. Especially the main character himself. Even though he grows by the end of the anime. But to get to my point, just kind of like the name sake. Also, I'm going off of English versions of the names because I'm terrible at pronouncing the Japanese versions of these. So I'm just gonna say the English ones. But basically, like, from, and it's kind of heaven but kind of not, but like this heavenly type place, an angel falls down, and this guy Tomiki, is basically like the biggest pervert of the town. Think like Master Roshi if you've seen like Dragon Ball. But yeah, he's like a really big pervert, and he finds this girl in the park, and the other side of him is that he's really sympathetic. Even besides from all the perversion he does, he's very caring for everyone he interacts with at the end of the day. Even though, like, especially in real life, I don't think I would hang out with a guy like that. He's a weirdo, but at the end of the day, at his core, he's a good guy. And I will admit, he does have moments where or like moments with other characters that are like really like talking down at him, or like scolding him, like, dude, like, this is so weird, like, stop. But basically, like, he finds the girl and he saves her, puts clothes in the bag, takes her home, and then he wakes up one morning and she's just all over him. Big old, the chest, because all these animes have to have big chest, all in his face, and he wakes up and he's like, yo, what the heck, what's going on? Even though he kind of likes it for a moment, but he's still like, what's going on? And then she calls him master, blah 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 blah. Apparently now she's tied to him, and basically, like, she tells him that you can wish for anything, and she gives him a card. He wishes for anything, and then by the end of the episode, the world accidentally ends from this wish that he does, because he's like, I just want to do my own thing and live alone. And basically, like, throughout the whole series, moving on from that was a terrible description, if I'm being honest, but basically, like, through the whole series, it's him kind of growing a relationship with others, like, I'll say the girl's name, her name is Icarus, fallen angel, funny enough, or someone who flew too close to heaven, which is kind of her whole thing. She's like, her origins is like she's one of the most powerful angels, but she flew a little too far to power, and she got shot down. But yeah, there's a bunch of other angels that come down to eliminate her because she is still alive. And this anime has a lot of cool action, but then it's kind of split where it does a lot of unnecessary, somewhat comedic, I'll be honest, but really raunchy comedy. Like the second episode, I'll always remember this, such a wild second episode. Basically, Tomiki, he wishes that he had every girl in the world's panties, and just like I just said, it takes every girl in the world's underwear, and they just start flying to him like birds, and it's so ridiculous. It's just a whole episode of like trying to reverse this spell slash wish, not witch. And yeah, that's that's a lot of the comedy. It's very episodic sometimes, but also has some story to it. Surprisingly, it can get a little dark, especially with some of its themes, but it's so, see, it's kind of like the thing with like Dawn to Dawn recently. I was surprised it got so much love. I mean, it definitely did. It's not as bad as Heaven's Lost Property, I'll admit, but it having a first episode where like the girl almost gets essayed by a bunch of aliens, yeah, it's definitely not a normie type of anime to start off with, at least at the first episode. And I have heard some people get completely they backed away from that because it is a bit of a side eye or head tilt type of episode 1. But from there, it kind of gets a little normaler in terms of anime. It does have some raunchy comedy, on and on, but that's neither here or there. That's not what I'm talking about today. But or like Chainsaw Man's another one, but it kind of like intertwines it a lot better with its comedy or themes of adulting or growing up a lot better than Heaven's Lost Property. But yeah, moving on from that. Also, there's a movie that's pretty good for Heaven's Lost Property. But moving on, Please Teacher. I guess this kind of would be another one that is like a highlight for me in my life, but it's not. The difference with this one is that it's not like, I think this is the least sexual one of this whole list, because it's just about, which I've always thought this premise is weird, but it is the premise at the end of the day. Basically the premise is this guy who has essentially amnesia, slash this kind of sickness that he has, this mysterious sickness, very Nagisa Clannad, if you ever watched that. But basically he has like this mysterious sickness, slash amnesia, and he wakes up one day from this. Everyone's happy that knows him, and then he meets this alien who, and also preface this, he's in high school, but he's actually not a high schooler anymore. He's like of age, but he still looks like a high schooler. That weird anime stuff. But basically, like, this teacher, this alien, she comes to his class after he sees her land one day, but then he runs away. Sees her in class, the two interact, and then by the end of the episode, because of convenience and also because she actually I'm forgetting some stuff, but by the end of the episode they get married, and basically the whole series is them growing their relationship and also hiding the fact that it is a teacher-student relationship, and the fact that she's an alien, and the fact that they're in love at the end of the day. And there is like this one, as a kid, like I was like, oh shoot, like I gotta turn this off. But it is a very head turning anime sometimes, because he does tend to walk around. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people do this, like when they're at home. It's normal, but especially on screen, animated show, it's a little weird for some people when they see that. But basically, she walks around a lot of the time at home in like her underwear and like a t-shirt, and it's like, yeah, there's some moments where like she might bend down or whatever, or there's embarrassing moments where like she always has a Pocky stick. I think I pronounced that right, a Pocky stick, whatever, little chocolate sticks, whatever, little Japanese chocolate stick things. She always has that, and I wouldn't say there's multiple moments, but there's like one or two moments where she's like very sensually like biting on it to kind of like arouse her newly found husband, or like she has like a moment where in a bathtub, but no, it doesn't show any nudity, but it does, she's obviously in a bathtub, so she is nude. And then there's OVA episode where I always remember this, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, that kind of awoke in me a bit, but and then I moved on. But basically she is like I'll just say like a sex scene between the two of them. But yeah, then it like kind of, it's important to the plot. They don't actually show it, but it's important to the plot of growing their relationship. And there's some love triangle stuff throughout the anime between like this I think it's two high schoolers that likes the main character, but they end up not being a thing because he's so loyal to the teacher. So yeah, it's an anime that's like, especially if it was made nowadays, I could definitely see it be blown up like, dang, this is weird. I don't know if it'd be as big because there are some animes that get really passed by that are really weird that people just don't see that's made nowadays. Um, but I could definitely see if it was like came out today online, people would completely be like, see, this is why anime is weird. This is why, which to be fair, yeah, but this is why people look down on anime. The last one, at least for the main highlights I'll mention, is an anime called Watabote, and I think I pronounced that right. Basically, it's about like a degenerate girl. I'll say rephrase it. A degenerate, introverted girl who basically she just wants to make friends, but she goes about it like the worst ways, and it's pretty comedic. It's a very like true to form, I feel like, life of a high schooler or an introverted high schooler, I'd say. The only odd parts about it, they definitely go in direction in some parts of like, yeah, she's doing the deed by herself sometimes and blah 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 off screen, and there's moments where like she's provoking her brother, like she watches anime too much and she's like, let's do incest stuff, and the brother's like, whoa, that's weird, let's not do that. So yeah, it's like there's lines and dialogue of it where she's a very perverted character where it's like if I was just watching that just on the raw, it'd be a big head turner, which is again the whole point of this video, which I might title this video. I still haven't thought about it, I'm just doing this randomly, but you know, the biggest head turners in the anime, I think that's the perfect title. Yeah, it's a very again, I feel it's early 2000s. There's a lot of animes in my brain where they just fit in that bubble. Like same thing with a lot of 90s 80s animes. I don't know how to describe it, but they just have that vibe to them where I can completely tell like, yeah, this is from the early 2000s or this was mid 2000s. And then like nowadays I could tell like this is definitely, I think it's just the way they're made. Probably what it is. But yeah, they definitely have that vibe. So to move on, the last highlights of this little video are Cheeky Angel. So basically like the premise of that is a guy one day comes across like this wish book. I think it's a wish book with his friend, and he's like I think he says something along the lines of, it's been a long time. I think I was rewatching this a bit ago. I was rereading it, but basically he wishes along the lines of like, he was like, if I was a girl I'd be just as strong. And then he gets wished to a girl, and basically he can't transform back. He loses because it's like only one wish. He loses the thing. He throws it in the ocean because he thinks it doesn't work at first. Excuse me. And later on in life, goes through puberty, blah blah blah, and now he's stuck as a girl. So like the whole anime is like him accepting his circumstances while also at the same time not at the start, trying to find out a way to change back or find this. It was a statue, I think, actually. I'm forgetting right now, but to basically reverse all this back. And I think it's pretty good. It's not exactly. There's definitely some weird moments with like this main guy that's always kind of trying to grope her, and it's really weird. But that's kind of just, I've kind of just accepted it. It's something you shouldn't accept, but it's something I've kind of just accepted in certain animes, like Soul Eater or what's it called, Fire Force, some other ones I can't remember right now. One I'm going to mention literally after this, Kill la Kill, which I guess I'll just move on to that. Kill la Kill is another one. Freaking Maki. Jeez, I can't remember the main girl's name. Jeez. Rukio, I think. Jeez, I can't remember her name. But yeah, Kill la Kill is one I mentioned on this because even though it is like the kind of the whole point is I could be interpreting this wrong in my head right now. But like embracing your sexuality and not being ashamed of it, and also like, you know, there's power in it. At least for women, that's kind of like what they think. But it's also just a cool action anime. And it's very it's like the most peak Trigger anime because it really is just everything they do is absurd for Trigger. So it's just that times 10 in this anime. But yeah, that's its own thing. The next one was Midori Days. Basically like a guy wakes up and he has his hand transforms to this girl that he likes, and yeah, it's weird. She's like nude and then he has to put clothes on her, and it's like really, at least at that first part, this is like the first episode this happens. It's pretty odd. I just wanted to highlight that one because that was one I kind of remember, kind of didn't, but I was just like, yeah, that's one that's like for sure is an anime that just be weird. It'd just be weird to throw on, and then that scene happens. You're like, what are you watching? The last one I'll mention is probably one that some people know. I mean, some of these on this list some people might know, like High School the Dead, not Camper, Watamote because of the memes, Kill la Kill also because of the memes, and also because it's the Trigger anime. It's a classic. And then Mystery Girlfriend. Also, I don't know how I slipped this one because I didn't name 5. I'll say this one first. Nurse Witch Kamugi. It's basically like a magical girl parody anime, but just a little raunchier. It's about like these two girls who want to be idols, and essentially, the main girl, she's basically a down bad friggin' idol. She's not exactly successful in any means, but with her newly found magical powers, she's able to become better, while also having to fight bad guys. This kind of like made cat girl that it never fails in every episode. They find some way. It's also an OVA. This is the OVA version. There's a TV version that's a little lighter and a little more kid friendly. This one is just absurdly just. If you're an anime fan and you've seen OVAs, they tend to not hold back, I'd say, in terms of like either sexuality or violence. They tend to not hold back at all compared to the actual TV versions, or just TV streamlined versions of a lot of stuff. So basically that's kind of all you need to know about that one. It's a magical girl parody. Parodies a lot of magical girl and also just pop culture things during that time. There's like a Speed Racer segment, there's a Gundam segment because everything needs to have a Gundam. And then I don't know, there's a bunch of like cool stuff in that. It's just the matter of it's also a comedy as well, so it's probably not for everyone, but I feel like it's worth watching. Honestly, all these, if you're like a hardcore anime fan and you just want to get just know some history, I guess I would recommend it for that. Some of these, but not all of them. I feel like the ones I highlight the most is probably like Cheeky Angel's a good, like, decent one. I feel like that one's pretty chill. Kill la Kill, that's a no-brainer to me. Even with some of the quote-unquote negatives I mentioned. And I'd say just because it's short, like High School the Dead, because it's pretty funny. Everything else, it's kind of up to you. It's really just up to you. But Mysterious Girlfriend, It's about like this guy who, if I recall, well, basically, I just say like the main premise. Him and this girl have this thing where like the guy likes her drool, and it kind of like it makes him kind of have a crush on her. Not like by like any spell reasons. You're just like, oh, I kind of like this girl, and also like her spit. And basically, they have like a whole budding friendship, but kind of platonic romance that grows into not so platonic. And yeah, it's really weird. And there's some moments where like there's a beach episode. I mean, everything. I honestly, I think all these animes I mentioned have a beach episode actually. Funny enough. Yeah, High School of the Dead. I don't remember if it does. Hamford definitely does. The Most Property. I know it does because I had like 3 of them, I think. Police Teacher, yes. Wanamote. I think the manga did. I don't think the anime got to that. Cheek Angel, yes. Nurse Witch Kamuki, yes. Kill a Kill, no, but it borders on it a lot anyways. Midori Days, I believe so. A Serious Girlfriend, yes it does, like I said earlier. So yeah, that's the video. I had to figure out how to edit in a lot of this stuff, but it's just a retrospective I just wanted to highlight because it is a pretty decent part of, I think, just my inspirations, and also just this really odd animes that I watched. That was like looking at my anime list, I was like, huh, I really did watch that growing up, huh? But yeah, it's a lot of them again have really cool concepts or ideas, but ultimately fall in this very just corny traps of just like like no one normal and I say this as someone who did watch them, but no one normal would want to watch this generally. Like, as good as something like Kill la Kill is, it's going to throw off someone like my sister purely because of just the boobs popping out, or Maki again like groping someone for some reason, or herself, even if it is in a more comedic way or comedic fashion. But I mean, at least with Kill la Kill, unlike a lot of these, everyone gets it, not just the girls, everyone gets it. So yeah, that's at least something. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Hi, if you stayed for the rest of the video, thank you. I forgot to add this in the video, but check out my new book, Princess Flora. Emily Johnson was an ordinary teenager until she woke up one morning as a fairy, with no way to reverse it. Now she must survive chaos, secrets, and dangers that come with her new life. If you like magical girl anime, superhero coming of age stories, or just a good novelette, I think you'll like Princess Flora.